We live in an economy where, most people need two jobs just to stay afloat. And we also live in a society that glorifies the fuck out of hustle culture, right? Over mental health. So, like work more, sleep less, grind harder. And that's supposed to be a flex, right? But nobody really talks about what happens when your whole job kind of becomes your identity. Your side quest essentially becomes the main quest in a way. I was making Jerry Morrell's dream come true. So Jerry Morrell is the CEO of Five Guys. I was making his dream come true, but failing my own. You know what I mean? And that's a problem because you can still, be successful at work, but you can still fail yourself. And God didn't just put you on this earth just to clock in and clock out. I used to think that, just working more would simply solve all my problems. So more overtime, more doubles, more money. I thought money would be the answer to everything, because if I had money, I wouldn't be the kid that like had to wear the same clothes to school back in high school, all the hand-me-downs. If, I became a manager at my job, I'd have status, I'd have respect. And if I'm being honest, work just became an escape, because if I focused on work, I didn't have to deal with, any uncomfortable emotions. But eventually, I realized something, ever since I graduated high school. So I'm 20, but I graduated more than 2 years ago. Ever since I graduated high school, my routine has been nothing but wake up, go to work, go home, sleep, repeat. And sometimes I would even sleep in my uniform, bro, like smelling like straight sweat and grease. And I wasn't actually building a life for myself. I was simply on autopilot. My coworkers, they would start joking around, oh, he's stuck in the Matrix, like on some Andrew Tate bullshit, right?
Well, what color's your bagay?
And then some customers would even walk in and they'd say, it's like my third time seeing you in the past like 2 weeks. Like some of them come like multiple times a week. But your job should fund your life. It shouldn't become your life. Because money is nice, but time is more important. And you should use the time outside of work to, go to the gym, start a business, learn a skill, pick up a new hobby, go on a date, you feel me? Spend time with your family. Most of all, you gotta build something that still matters to you when you clock out, because your job should be part of your life, but it shouldn't be what your life revolves around, because your future isn't built during the shifts that you work, but the hours after. So I'll leave you with two questions. If time and if money were not an issue, what would you spend your time doing? And if jobs didn't exist, what would your purpose be? Because whatever the answer to those questions are, that's what you should be focusing on.